Rosa Louise Macaulay Parks was an activist in the civil rights movement, best known for her pivotal role in the Montgomery bus boycott. The United States Congress has called her the First Lady of the Civil Rights and the Mother of the Freedom Movement. On December 1, 1955, in Montgomery, Alabama, Parks refused to obey bus driver James F. Blake's order to give up her seat in the colored section to a white passenger after the whites-only section was filled. However, Montgomery bus drivers had adopted the custom of moving back separating black and white passengers, and, if necessary, asking black passengers give up their seats to white passengers. The city's bus ordinance didn't specifically give drivers the authority to demand a passenger to give up a seat to anyone, regardless of color. If the black passenger protested, the bus driver had the authority to refuse service and could call the police to have them removed. 3 of the other black passengers on Rose's bus complied with the driver, but Rose refused and remained seated. Parks was not the first person to resist bus segregation, but the NAACP believed that she was the best candidate for seeing through a court's challenge after her arrest for civil disobedience and violating Alabama segregation laws. Parks' prominence in the community and her willingness to become a controversial figure inspired the black community to boycott the Montgomery bases for over a year, the first major direct action campaign of the post-war civil rights movement.
On the evening that Rosa Parks was arrested, A.D. Nixon, ready of the local chapter of NAACP, began forming plans to organize a boycott of Montgomery City buses. Ads were placed in local papers, and handbills were printed and distributed in black neighborhoods. Members of the African American community were asked to stay off city buses on Monday, December 5, 1955, the day of Rosa's trial, in protest of her arrest. People were encouraged to stay home from work or school, take a cab or walk to work, with most of the African American community not riding the bus. Organizers believed a longer boycott might be successful. On the morning of December 5, a group of leaders from the African American community gathered at the Mount Zion Church in Montgomery to discuss strategies and determined that their boycott effort required a new organization and strong leadership. They formed the Montgomery Improvement Association, electing Montgomery newcomer Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. as minister of the Dexter Avenue Baptist Church. The MIA believed that Rosa Parks' case provided an excellent opportunity to take further action to create real change. When Rosa arrived at the courthouse for trial that morning with her attorney, Fred Gray, she was greeted by a bustling crowd of around 500 local supporters who rooted her on. Arguably, the biggest event of the day, however, was what Rosa's trial has triggered.
The Montgomery bus boycott, as it came to be now, was a huge success, lasting for 381 days. The city's buses were by and large empty. By this act, and the later boycott, Rosa became now throughout the United States was the mother of black civil rights. She and her husband had to move to Detroit in 1957 due to the constant death threats that both suffered. Still, they didn't stop fighting for civil rights. Martin Luther King went on to use the example of Rosa Parks and the success of the boycott to influence more people to military for the cause. The 1916 was marked by larger and more organized civil rights movements, culminating in the signing of the Civil Rights Declarations of 1964 and 1968, which ended at last for the U.S. judicial system, with discrimination in electoral system, in schools, factories, and other public places. Rosa Parks died in 25 at the age of 92, still actively helping the Rosa and Raymond Park Institute, an organ created by her in 1987 with her friend Elaine Steele, and who was a lecture program, the Pathways to Freedom, which helps to clarify to young people the important civil rights in the day-to-day society. She was still decorated in 1996 by the President Bill Clinton with the Presidential Medal of Freedom, one of the greatest honors in the United States. In 1999, it was the turn of the American Congress to recognize its struggle by decorating Rosa with the Congressional Gold Medal.